Mm-hmm. Do.
Are we on?
I don't know.
I'm on. I see
Live. It says
phenomenon.
live 15 seconds. Yes, we are live. Go ahead, Teresa.
Okay, we're live and recording, I guess.
Yep.
So,
21 seconds.
Yes, we are.
folks. All right. Well, welcome aboard all you ground troops spinning around on the planet. Uh, I'm not sure why I've had trouble tonight, so we're a little late. And this is the best I could do. So sorry you're looking at my nostrils right now. I wanted to put our guest, Stephen Bassett, in the middle. We had him last week. So thank you for everybody in from last week. Now he is on, well, hopefully we'll just go wherever. I'm going to be learning this today. Janet Lessin from Hawaii, Maui, Hawaii. She's been my help co-host, producer, co-producer, and we've been broadcasting together for years. And I've never had this much trouble. But Janet, tell us what's going on with the weather right there. Well, I
Well,
got you.
just to let you know, everybody, I'm on my phone. I have no lights. I have no way to light my face or light anything. And as the day progresses, it's just going to get dark over here, but that's okay. We have trees down, power out on 3 or 4 islands. So we're really getting hit with it. It's not like a hurricane. It's just high and heavy rains. So we're dealing with that. But besides that, we're alive and well and happy and glad to be on the show today. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Janet and I have been doing this quite a long time, and now she just fell off all by herself. Now there she comes again. So we're going to try to do our best. Janet here dropped off again. All right, folks. Anyway, we apologize because we really feel like we're historians and investigators, we're researchers, and with spj.org. But we've been with Paradigm Research. Really, we always just thought we were with Steve. And Stephen, I thought you spelled it Stephen. Is it Sted?
It is Steve when I'm with my friends. It is Stephen with a PH when I'm doing the professional thing.
Okay.
Right? It's never Stephen with a V.
It is with a V, not PH, but that's the correct way.
Steve with a V, Stephen with a PH, but never Stephen with a V.
Okay.
I don't like that. I don't like that. No, I don't like that.
All right. Well, folks, I'm very well known in many places for being strange and paranormal, but I'm really just a ET contactee that has kept up with people's lives for years and years. And Stanton T. Friedman and I got together and started UFO Association years and years ago. And he and I both got to talk to Jesse Marcel, the original, and then we both talked to the doctor. And I don't know if Jesse Marcel III got to talk to him or not, even though I've interviewed Jesse Marcel III here, and we'll probably have him back. We've had him a couple of times. But we're tracking since 1947 the history. And it's very interesting that Janet and I are both contactee, experiencers, hybrids, whatever you want to call it, because AI is telling me I have to use certain words not to set off the rails or shut us down. I don't know what all that's about, but Steve Bassett has been around the DC area, I guess, most of his life. We had him last week, but we're going to talk about, I guess, more involved subjects. So, Steve Bassett, you take it away with anything that's on your mind. And I know Janet's got questions about what's coming up, but whatever you want to talk about. I bet you don't remember where you left off last week, even though I've watched it.
No. My memory's not at peak, ability. That's all right. Let's quick sum up. Situation has gotten complex. The ET issue has essentially been centered in two places: Washington D.C. and Los Angeles, meaning that the effort to get disclosure is based in D.C. It always has been. That's where it has to happen. The president is the only one that can confirm this officially. and that would be the end of the truth embargo disclosure. We had to have legislation. We needed to have members of Congress get involved, oversight, and that's very important. And that's all Washington based. But on the other side of the country in Los Angeles is the media center, right, of the world, and of the world in a way. And the ET issue has been hugely represented there all these years, going back to 1947. Well, shortly thereafter. So what do I mean? Here's how tight it is. Here's how tight this relationship is. So Roswell happens just shortly after the nuclear bombs are dropped in Japan, and everybody's aware that we have these bombs. We've used them. It's a big deal. And very shortly, we learn that the Soviets also have the technology and they're going to build their own bombs. This all happens in a short amount of time. 47, 48, 49. So pretty intense time, right? The ET thing is shuffled off to the side. The government's able to kind of put that aside, even though a lot of articles, thousands of articles were written in the papers around the country about it, but then they all kind of faded away. No internet. And then just 4 years after Roswell, probably was in the making, early 51, might even been late 50. A movie hits. It's a good movie. It's called The Day the Earth Stood Still. And it's an interesting film. It's got a very famous lead. I think his name is what's his name? I can't remember.
Michael Rennie.
Yeah, Michael Rennie is the lead. And then he comes with a robot called Gort. All right. And it's a basic film, but for its time, it wasn't bad. I watched it probably by 53 or 4. Maybe I didn't see it until it was on TV. It's possible, in which case I didn't actually see it until I was about maybe 10 years old. In any event, the movie is about an ET that comes to Earth and to point out that we're just not heading in the right direction. Right? We're not heading in the right direction. Clearly referring to the fact that we built these atomic weapons, we've used them, that very bad things can come from that. And it was just so pressing that so shortly after the events at Roswell, the filmmakers were pressing enough to come out with this thing about how an alien from somewhere else was going to come and warn us that, boy, you don't want to go there. And they had a little bit of a confrontation. The message was made, and he flies away. 51. That's soon.
Right.
So at that point, this connection has already been established in the film industry since 51. Hollywood, and quite a few other film centers, not just Hollywood, but certainly over in the UK, they've made many, some in India, have generated perhaps 1,000 sci-fi movies that hit the screens, of which 600 of them had ETs in them of one kind or another, right? 600 films about ETs. These films, interestingly enough, over the years, always had a pretty good audience. The black and whites were not bad. They eventually ended up on TV, but then as the tech got better, the ability to render sci-fi and ETs got better until we reached a point not that long ago where the highest grossing films of all time were sci-fi films about extraterrestrials. So what happened in all those years is, and these films, of course, are seen all over the world. American films are seen all over the world. Have huge international audiences. And so billions and billions of views, one person watching one of these films, have taken place in the intervening years from 51 to the present. Billions and billions and billions of views, indoctrinating the entire planet, with some exceptions, to the idea of extraterrestrials. They may look different in different films. They conduct themselves in different ways, but nevertheless, they're not human, and they're almost always from outer space, from the stars. So the film industry had a mass role in indoctrinating or informing the world of this concept, thousands of times more significant than government. Teresa is jumping back in occasionally, and it's on. So I don't know how you turn that off. Anyway, the point is that the government did very little, almost nothing, to educate, but Hollywood was doing it from the get-go. Okay, so that is why these are the two centers of this process. All right. So over the years, Hollywood has been relentless. They've never stopped making the films. They just get better and better. But the work in Washington, the work to try to engage the politics of it, has had a very up and down, ragged process, because the filmmakers and the producers and directors make the calls in Hollywood, but in Washington, D.C., the calls are made by the Department of Defense and members of cabinet, members of intelligence agencies, and so forth. And of course, they're opposed to us knowing the truth about this. So it was a much more complicated, difficult problem in the DC side. But we made progress off and on. Recently, we made a great deal of progress starting in late 17. It built over the next 7 years, 18, 19, 20, 21, an unprecedented amount of activity of a political nature was taking place, getting heavy coverage by the media, thousands of articles covering it from 17 on. Very little ridicule. That almost disappeared entirely. So it was going great. All right. After years and years of pretty much very difficult to get any progress in the capital, nation's capital. Unfortunately, history is constantly happening. And just like the work that we were doing on this subject back in the early aughts was dramatically impacted by the 9/11 attack, as well as the Iraq War. That really sidetracked and made it difficult to embrace this issue. So it's kind of been like that. But the last 7 years, we really made a lot of strides until now. What's happening now, which Washington is addressing, it's not just Washington, it's international, but Washington is obviously engaging it, is not just a distraction, a blip. What's happening now is serious issues that are pushing the ET issue in DC to the side. Not completely off the stage, but it's off to the side. Some things are going on, but not a lot of coverage on that. And there's limits to what people can say or do, because we are in the process of possibly working towards a world war, which is considered to be particularly bad. There have only been 2 so far in the last 125 years. We were hoping never to have another one, but this one has got all the earmarks of going there. But even now, it's created major concerns and taken up massive amounts of press and media. And so on this side of the country, we're now taking a backseat for a while. How long this is going to go on, I don't know. However, it's not really affecting the Hollywood side still. All right. That's moving forward, right? It's just not affected in the same way. And a perfect example of that is an article that dropped today. So I'm going to go to share here, if I'm not mistaken. I think I can do a share. Can I? Yeah, I can do a share screen. And then I'm going to go to, let's see, I do this, and then I go to this. Okay. Can y'all see this? You see the shared screen?
I can't hear what anybody's saying. Steve, you're broken up. And Teresa, are you hearing what Steve is saying?
So you're not hearing me now?
Now I can hear. I could hear you, but you're all garbled. But I think it's my connection because I'm in the middle of a storm.
Yeah, you're in a storm in Hawaii. But can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, this article dropped
So,
today.
TJ, you're going to have to pick up the slack because I can't make out what you're saying, Steve, and I'm hoping that. So I'm keeping quiet, but
Teresa, can you hear me?
I really don't know what you're saying. But continue.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted to let you know that.
Teresa, can you hear me? No. Teresa is not responding either. Let's go back.
I'm going to go out.
Teresa, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'll tell you what. Look, we have too many. We've got too many problems here. There's only so there's only so far you want to go. We got storms, we got interference, multiple platforms. Let's reschedule. I'm available. Let's reschedule for a little later, maybe next week, whatever. The storm will be past. You'll be able to hear me because I don't think we've got the sufficient tech to do this right. Am I overstating?
All it is garbled on my end. I'm going to go out and back in again, see if I can get a better connection. I'll be back.
All right, go ahead.
Continue without me. I'll be back.
All right, Teresa, how's the connection between you and I? Now I can't hear you. No. Look, we need to, you know what I mean? And then do it another time. Reschedule. Where's the chat? Where's the chat? Give me a chat. What the hell is this? No, it's not. Should have a chat thing. What's that chat thing? No, that's not it. It usually comes a chat with StreamYard. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Interesting.
Now
We're trying to pick up Janet. Can you hear me? I have really had trouble tonight. This is embarrassing.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Can you hear me, Janet?
I'm so sorry. I can't hear you. Yes, no. I'm so sorry. I can't
no, there is all kinds of noise. There's all kinds of. Can you both hear me?
Here, so.
Can you both hear me? Can you both hear me? I don't think either of you can hear me. Look. No, it's a YouTube show. Can anybody hear me?
Okay. I can hear you.
All right. I am going. Can you hear me?
And I know what you're saying is brilliant because you're always brilliant. I'd love to hear you, but go ahead. Try to talk.
We need to stop. Okay. We need to sign off.
Okay.
We need to reschedule, maybe for next week. The circumstances, the tech, whatever. It's just not. It's not going to work. So let's get rescheduled for next week. And Teresa can work on whatever issues she has. You'll have better connection. But this isn't going to fly.
Yeah.
Okay? Fair enough.
It's not, and I want to hear what you're saying, and I know it's not awesome, and I'm not sure it's getting recorded right. If it's fuzzy, Teresa, are you okay with let's reschedule for next Friday, or we could go even before that if you have an opening. But I'm pretty flexible.
Well,
Teresa,
we can email. We can email that.
We'll email. Okay, we'll email.
I've got other things I'll be doing, so I got to check schedule, but we'll work it out. Okay, fair enough.
Okay. We'll work it out. Thank you for understanding. Our storm is supposed to end by Monday, so we should be good for next week.
Well, there you go. Very good. Okay. Later. Enjoy the weekend. Watch the Oscars on Sunday. That'll be fun.
I'm going to sign off now. I can't hear anything anyway. Bye.
Bye.
I saw a UFO once. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I was in the mountains of Santa Barbara, near Vanderbilt Air Force Base, and it was a beautiful night, warm night. I was laying out on my chase lounge, looking up at the stars, and I saw the stars blink out and come back on. They'd go off and come back, and then the stars down the stream would go off and come back on. So I kind of woke up. What's going on here? It was like 2 a.m, and it was round because I could see its image against the starry background.